Hey guys, welcome to the video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Atlanta, Georgia real estate market update for the month of February 2022. So definitely, if you're interested in purchasing real estate, you definitely need to look at this market update so you can know what's going on in the current market. So let's get into it right now. Let's go. Okay, so if this is your first time here on the channel, thank you so much for coming to the channel. And let me introduce myself. My name is Raymond, and I am a local real estate broker here in Atlanta. I help people just like you migrate and move and relocate here to the Atlanta, Georgia area. If you are a subscriber, you already know who I am. You already know what I'm about. So thank you so much for coming back. And if you are new, obviously, definitely invite you to subscribe to the channel so that you can learn more information about Atlanta, Georgia, the surrounding areas, and understanding what's going on in the real estate streets here in Atlanta. So in today's video, like I said, we're going to jump into the computer and take a look at a real live market update for the month of February 2022. And it's going to help you understand what's going on in the market and help you prepare to be aggressive in the market as of March. So definitely let's get into it right now. Let's go. Okay, so let me set this up for you as far as the source, the data that we're going to be looking at. So the number one, the source is going to be Georgia MLS, which is a multiple listing service here in Atlanta. And then the data that we're going to be looking at is going to be only residential real estate. So no commercial, but the residential is going to be encompassing of everything: condominiums, townhomes, single family, alike. Okay. Also, the radius as far as the geographical area that we're going to be looking at is going to be 30-mile radius around the city center of Atlanta, Georgia. So a 30-mile radius from downtown Atlanta. So that's encompassing the majority of the Atlanta metropolitan area. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, so welcome to my screen here inside of Georgia MLS. As I said, we're going to be using this tool as our number one source for data for today's video. So the very first thing I want to do is show you a period comparison report. I'm going to be looking at my screen, so I'm probably not going to be, well, I guess I'll look up here. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you a period comparison report, which is going to give you, the first one we're going to look at is going to be here, which is from February 1st, 2021 to February 28, 2021, compared to February 1st, 2022 and February 28, 2022 of residential properties, encompassing all of the likes of residential property. But this is going to give you at least a year-over-year snapshot of what happened between 2021 to 2022 in the month of February. Okay, so let's just go ahead and take a look at this here. Let me get my pointer so I can draw on screen. All right, so the very first, let me hide this. Okay, how do I, okay, what about this? Can I not hide this? Okay, so my little pointer, I'm gonna have to download another one because I don't like how like this is like in the way, you know, of that over there. But anyway, so this is the comparison report. So this is 2021 and this is current year here. So one of the things that, you know, I definitely like to point out is the fact that, boy, okay, we're just not going to use this here. Just look at the cursor. Let me see. Let's see if I can move this to my other screen, because I have two monitors here in the office and it don't want to work for me. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the period comparison report, and I'll kind of move things around so nothing will be blocked. But like I said, this is our 30-mile radius around the city of Atlanta, so that's our map region. But let's just take a look at February 2021 for first. So very first thing we can see, this period, this area over here is going to be our percent differences. So this is very important to take a look at, comparing 2021 to 2022 down here. So the number of properties that listed in 2021 was 6,141 properties in the month of February. Here in the 2022 for the month of February, that was a 6.6% decrease in the available listings or properties entering the market. So it was down to 5,736 new listings for the month of February 2022. So that is a considerable jump, a considerable difference, decrease, because we want that to be opposite, right? When you start looking at how do the market correct, when will the market correct? It's gonna correct when we start to have more listings than there is demand, right? But as long if that supply stay lower than the demand, then we're still gonna stay in a very much a seller's market. Okay, so let's look at the number of properties actually sold, because this is what you want to look at. So the properties actually sold in the month of February 2021, it was 5,025 properties. In the month of February 2022, that decreased by 19.6% down to 4,040, right? So that is still a considerable difference comparing what happened in 2021. So yes, the sold properties did decrease by 19.6%. All right, so let's clear this off the screen. And then let's take a look at the actual sold prices, as far as kind of the scope, right? So in the month of February 2021, the highest property to sell was and I skipped from the list price because I think list price is good, but as far as what is considered to be a comparable, is going to be a property that actually sold, not what it lists for. But anyway, let's look at the sold price of sale of sold properties. So the highest listing in 2021 that sold was 5.5 million. 2022 February decreased by 8.6% down to 5 million and 25,000. The average was 347,787 in 2021. That was a considerable increase, 18.9% increase to 413,365, which is what everybody, which this impacts you most, right? So if you see an 18% increase in the average sold price from last year, that lets you know that the trend is still upward when it comes to valuations. Okay. Medium sale price, sold price in Atlanta for 2021 February was 285,000. This increased by 22%, up to 347,750 for the month of February. Now this is a very big difference here. So the average sale price versus over list price ratio, OLP, over list price ratio. This is a very important metric when you're looking at how do you structure your offers to beat out competitive offers. And so this gives you an inside perspective as to how much are people actually overpaying as it relates to the list price. Now, this bulk of properties, I mean, this number is really not gonna, it's not gonna be 100, it's not gonna be 37.5% over list price for every single house. But out of the 5,025 properties that sold last year, the bulk of them, the percentage when it came to the sale price versus the over list price ratio was 137.5%. That means that the sell price, the sold price was actually 37.5% over the actual listing price. Okay, so that is considerable when you're talking about, you know, uh, what the what type of offer you should make, how competitive should you be. On average for the last year February, people were paying like 37.5% over value, okay, or over list price. Now, that doesn't mean it was overvalued. So that's why I want to recap that. That means just basically that the listing price versus what the actual sold price was, it was 37.5% over. So the listing agent could have listed the property lower for a bidding situation, or it could have been, whatever. Okay. But just 37.5% over the sale price, which is considerable. Okay, so let's look at that same metric, the sale price over list price ratio for February 2022. We can see that dropped significantly, 26.2% decrease, down to 1.4% over list price, right? And so, people are holding their monies a little bit closer to the chest here, even though the median price has already risen. So I think a lot of that bump, it kind of evened out, right? So if you look at the median price differences, one was 285 was the median a sold price in February 2021. So by the time we've gotten to February 2022, my thought process is, because the median price has elevated so much, that you don't have to do that 37.5%, because we're kind of, I'm not going to say we're at the peak of the uptrend, but we're high on the totem pole up there. So you don't have that steep incline like you had in February 2021. And that's why properties were selling 37.5% over, because it was a higher climb in the 21 than it is in 22 as it relates to the aggressiveness, because the median price was still considerably lower than comparing this year to last year. I hope that makes sense. I know it's a lot. When you're looking at these numbers and you're trying to get a statistical breakdown, you have to just follow them. Okay. Now let's look at a different chart just to kind of get an idea. This is going to be a comparison report. Now this is going to show you from January 2022 to February 2022. So it's giving you a 30-day snapshot. So the last slide we looked at gave us, or the last report we looked at gave us a year over year for February. Now I'm going to just show you what happened from January to February 2022 as it relates to just sold prices. Okay, so very first thing, the numbers listed in January was 5,483 properties in January. In February, that did increase. February 2022, that did increase by 4.5%, bringing the listing total amount of listings to 5,730. Also, we had a jump in sold prices, sold properties as well. So in January, I know I'm saying a lot of dates. In January 2022, we sold exactly 3,561 listings. And in February, we topped that number to 4,029, bringing that to be a 13.1% increase in the sold properties from January 2022 to February 2022. Okay, so let's look at the sold prices, because again, I only like to give you what actually sticks and what actually materialized, and that's actually what's sold. Okay, so let's just jump down here to the sold price here in this section. Follow my cursor. So the highest property to sell in January 2022 was 4.6 million. The lowest property to sell was 34,000. The average, property sold price for January 2022 in the Atlanta region, 30-mile radius from the city of Atlanta, was $402,083. The median was $335. Okay, the sale price versus over list price ratio was 183.4%, which is crazy. And so, I mean, that's just showing you the volatility. And I think that's because people were excited about getting 2022 started. People that was shopping and that took a break outside of Christmas, and they got back into the market in January and they just went bonkers. Okay, so and because there's no rhyme and reason why. Let's look at February solds. So the high sold price in February of 2022 was $5,025,000. The low was still $34,000. The average jumped up 2.7% from the following month, bringing the average price to $412,865, the average sold price in the Atlanta region. The median was also increased by 3.7% to $347,250. Okay. So in January, the sale price versus over list price ratio was only 101.4, meaning 1.4% over list price where the property is actually sold, which was a 44.7% decrease from the following month. Okay, so that's a considerable difference, but that's just showing you how volatile the market is and how things are just constantly changing. And so let's also look at the average days on market. Now, I will tell you the average days on market, this sample is a big sample. Like, for instance, this is 4,029 properties that you're sampling to get this data. But in the next slide, the next page, I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna drill into this medium sold price, and we're gonna look at kind of what the days on market looks like for that price point versus taking into consideration all of these price points. Because the higher price the property is, the longer it will sit on the market. So when you're talking about the high sold price being $5 million, there was a lot of 3, 4, 5, 1, 800, 900, $1,000 homes in that sampling. So on the next one, which is where we are now, we're going to show you just looking at the actual medium pricing for Atlanta, just to kind of show you how many of those sold, what was the average days on market, and things like that. So we're kind of drilling in. So let's look at January 2022 for first. So in this price point, between 340 and 350 is the criteria that I put in here. So sold price 340 to 350. That's all I want to see as far as the sold categories. Okay, so you'll see the listing is going to be higher. Let's just match it to give you a better idea. Okay, so this gives you a better perspective, right? All right, so in January, in that price point of 340 to 350, again, this is very narrowed focus, narrow view. In January, we had about 70 at that price point, 70 listings in that price point come to the market. And then we had 109 properties sell in that price point. February 2022, we only had 10 listings to come into the market in that price point. But again, that's a very small window. So, I probably should have did 0. Let's just go back and do 0 to 350. That'll give you probably some better numbers. All right. Yeah, I like these numbers a little bit better. Gives you, a little bit better from 0 to the average. So January we had 5,168 listings to come to the market in that price point, and then in February we had 5,257, which was a 1.7% increase. We sold 3,762 of those price properties in that price point from 0 to 350. In February, we sold 3,874, which was a 3% increase from January. So let's look at the sold numbers here. So the high sold obviously is 350 because I have it capped at 350. But the sell price to list price ratio was actually a little bit lower. It was 0.5% lower. So that means that in this price point, you're seeing a little bit of a retraction as it relates to what people are actually offering. They're not offering over list price as much, and they're negotiating some sellers down a little bit based on this comparison report. Okay, for the month of February, and then also the average days on market was 22 days on market for that price point. But again, this is a very small sampling. I mean, it's 3874 for the month of February that actually sold. Okay, so that gives you a really good perspective. I mean, the closer you get towards the medium or average sales price, which is still a little bit lower than the median right now, but that gives you some perspective as to what you can expect as far as the sale price versus over list price ratio and the average days on market. But this number is it's not 22 days on market. Nah. I mean, right now properties are selling like 3-4 days on market if they're worth anything. All right, so let's look at the year-over-year results real quick, and we'll go ahead and put a lid on this video because this is not supposed to be a long video. It's supposed to be just very concise and to the point, but you know how I do. All right, so let's just look at year-over-year comparison. So new listings. So in 2021, this is give you the breakdown here how things did throughout the year as far as new listings. We can see that the bulk of our listings came in June was a high month, July was a high month, August was a high month, April was another high month. So you can kind of see our ways as far as how real estate works here in Atlanta as it relates to when people are ready to list their homes. So right now you can see we are 8% for January below where we were last year as it relates to new listings on the market. February, we're 5.7% lower from last year. So if this continues, then prices aren't going to move. Like they're not going down. If we can't get these into the positive, if we can't start to see more listings come to the market than what we've already had, we're going to stay in this seller's market. Okay. I mean, that's just my prediction. Now the interest rates and things like that, I got more content that's going to come out as it relates to kind of what my perspective is going to be with the interest rates. I think they are going to influence and take some of the demand out of the market, but I don't think it's going to take enough demand out of the market to actually defy the law of supply and demand. Meaning, it's not going to remove enough people in order to balance the supply with the demand, if that makes sense. Okay. All right, so let's look at the pending sales category here. So the pending sales, we are definitely below average in both months for pending, so meaning under contract in escrow. In February, we only had 5,187, so it was a 72% decrease. And then in January, it was a 26.6% decrease. Okay, so right now we're trending in the wrong direction as it stands right now. Okay, let's look at closed units. Closed units, we're doing a little bit closer as it relates to the particular units that we're closing, meaning how many listings, the number of listings. In 2021, in January, we closed 4,420 listings. In January 2022, it was only 3,934. And then in February, look at that, it's 9.4% decrease, a little bit better in February, which is the whole reason for this video. So I'll focus a little bit more on February's. But so you can kind of see that the units were still below average just in that category. This is by volume. So now when you look at by volume, we're doing better. We're actually selling less listings, but the volume as far as the amount of how much that volume is worth in dollars, we're actually 7.6% better as it relates to volume. And you know why? That is because the appreciation is so high. So we can sell less homes and have the same, well, 7.6% more volume. It's crazy, crazy. But that is the data. And so, you know, that's the numbers. Now, the average sales price is where we are now. So in February 2022, our average sale price was 412,407, which was an 18.7% increase from February 2021 at 347,415. So you see the difference there. Um, appreciation. We're still in an uptrend. None of that has went negative or even small. I mean, this is double digits percent gains from year over year. Active listings. Now, this is definitely something to consider when you start talking about supply and demand. So February 2021, we had a 15.6% decrease from last year. Last year, we had 13,100 active listings in the market. This year, February, we only had 10,970 active listings in the market. That is not the right way we need to be going. We need to be going the opposite way. We need to take this number from 13 to 15,000 to 16,000, and then you'll start to see things taper. Okay. All right. So let's look at the average days on market here in February. It has decreased. It's a 15.2% difference. So in February 21, it was 33 days. February 22, it is 28 days, average days on market. And so there you go. Okay. So things are moving very, very quickly. Quicker. All right. So new foreclosures. This is an interesting number. Because you'll see that, I mean, negative 66.7%. And I don't know if this number here is not as accurate because the listing agent has to physically put it in as a foreclosure. Sometimes they'll list it as a regular listing, but as us agents read it, we'll see that it's a foreclosure. So it just depends on. So this number here is not the best metric, okay, to take into consideration. All right, let's move on to our heat map of our listings. This kind of gives you a lay of the land as to where things are hot, where most of your listings, most of your activity is coming from. So that's just a 30-mile radius. So you can kind of see there's activity just about everywhere in the Atlanta metropolitan area. Smaller pockets that may not have a lot of activity is kind of right in this area right here, which there's not too much going on right in here. So if we zoom it out, but this is kind of that Panola Mountain, Arabian Mountain High School. A lot of development is necessarily still happening in this area too. So you really don't have a lot of residential real estate in that area already in itself. But you can see the heat map is there's a gap there. But everything here, and you can see a lot of movement right here in the city center. And so, a lot of your opportunities as far as lower price properties are going to be way, a little bit outside of this heat map, right? The further you get outside of this heat map, the more opportunities you have. But then again, scarcity comes in because when you get outside those heat maps, you don't have a lot of opportunity. So when you see something that you like, you have to kind of be willing to jump on it. Okay. Okay, so let's take a look at the statistics for the monthly sales for February 2022. Now, I will caution you by saying this report that you're looking at here is Georgia-wide. It is not specific to the Atlanta metropolitan area, so you're going to see much larger numbers. Georgia MLS encompassing, they cover more than just a 30-mile radius of Atlanta. I did that on my previous reports just to keep things dialed in. But this report here is going to be more of the entire state of Georgia. So just kind of take it with a grain of salt, but just give you a breakdown of how things are dispersed, okay, as it relates to what I'm going to get into. So the only thing I really want to show you on this slide is going to be the sale price. I'm going to circle it just for the sake of using my little handy dandy thing here. Uh-oh, I shouldn't have did that. Let's clear that off. Let's clear that. But basically, this is the area that I want to show you. And this is what I want to bring to your attention right here. Okay. This is what I want to bring to your attention because I get this question a lot, which is what type of home loan should I go after, Raymond? What are sellers accepting as it relates to the type of loan that you have? So here's your proof right here. And now single family residential is going to be regular homes. Other residential is going to be like townhomes, condos, and things like that. Okay, but just so you can see the real numbers. I mean, it's not much to. You don't have to really. You don't even have to study it. You can see the outliers, right? So cash and conventional, 80%. CN is conventional. 80 is the amount of loan to value. So 80% loan to value, which means the buyers are bringing 20% down. Okay. Out of all of the properties that sold in February 2022 in the entire state of Georgia, single family and townhomes and condos and such, the bulk of them was sold or purchased with cash and conventional 80%. That's your answer. Okay. Then you have a smaller number that was at the 90 and 95%. Okay. And then FHA is here. Okay. FHA used to be the number one loan that most buyers would get because it was just so easy to get it, and if you wasn't buying a home that was entirely expensive, you could use FHA without a problem because FHA do have caps and limits, borrowing limits as to what they will insure depending on the fair market value in the area that you're purchasing. But this is your answer right here. Cash and conventional 80% is what's making Atlanta work right now. So if you're not gonna put at least, one is at 80%, 20%, you'll see what your competition is. I'm not saying that you have to have 20% down, but I'm just showing you for February 2022 in Georgia MLS, this is the data. Okay, take it how you want it. Okay, so last thing I want to show you before I put a wrap on this video is going to be the Atlanta Realtors market brief for January 22. And the only reason I want to show you this is just this right here. In January 2022, they have not released the numbers for February as of yet. The monthly supply over a 12-month period decreased to 0.9%. Okay, so that is crazy for what they're saying. I mean, we need to have at least like a 3-month supply. A 6-month supply is a normal market, a balanced market, and like a semi kind of like teetering back and forth would be like a 3-month supply, because depending on how many you sell, it can kind of go back. We're in a seller's market, we're in a buyer's market. You kind of get that swing. Right now, we're in a 100% seller's market because of this supply issue that we're having. Okay, I do want to show you the absorption rates right now for Atlanta per Georgia MLS. This is what I'm doing when I say 30 miles. This is exactly what I'm doing. You see me do it here in real time. But as of right now, over a 12-month period, we're at 0.8%. So 0.8 months. So not even a full month of supply of inventory over a 12-month period of time. Okay. So that's crazy. Okay. That is crazy. We are still in the seller's market. We are still in the thick of it. So definitely be prepared to negotiate, and be prepared, not even necessarily to negotiate, but be prepared to put your best foot forth in the beginning. You don't have a lot of opportunity to play in this market. And listen to your agent. You should have a good agent that can give you, that understand this statistical breakdown. They understand, what type of financing is actually popular right now. They understand how to help you strategize and create an offer that is going to help you beat out the others. So yeah, let me get off the computer and I'm gonna put a wrap on this video, and then we're gonna call it a night, because yeah, or it's night here when I'm making this video, but we're gonna call it a day on this, a wrap on this video. So let's do that. All right, guys, so I hope you got something from that video. Hopefully you're able to understand how aggressive you need to be, the current status of the market here in Atlanta. Things are crazy, things are moving so fast. You just gotta be prepared, and you just gotta, just be prepared. Understand the numbers, understand how aggressive you have to be, and then let the chips fall where they may. This is my opportunity to invite you to subscribe to the channel. Definitely, if you want to have more real estate insights, if you want to see more property tours, if you want to see more neighborhood tours, and to learn all about Atlanta, Georgia, and the surrounding areas, definitely hit that subscribe button and turn the notification bell on. Also, so much stuff is coming on the channel. I can't even put it all in words right here on this one video, but more stuff is going to be coming here on the channel over the next few weeks. So definitely stay tuned for all of those updates. And feel free to reach out to me if you have any real estate needs here in the Atlanta, Georgia area. Also in, Macon, Savannah, Columbus, and Augusta. I can assist you throughout the entire state of Georgia. So if you have any real estate needs, definitely feel free to reach out to me. All of my contact information is in the description below. Also, if you are here in Atlanta and you are looking to sell your home, or you're looking to actually buy your first home if you're currently renting right now, definitely feel free to reach out to me as well. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.